Let's take a look at the Common Core State Standards for Mathematics. These standards are structured differently than the next generation Sunshine State Standards that we're used to. So let's take a look at how to navigate and make meaning from these standards. The first thing we're going to see is the table of contents here. And there's actually two types of standards seen in the math standards. There's standards for mathematical practice, and these standards apply to every grade, kindergarten through 12th. And then there's the standards for mathematical content. And you can see that it is broken down by grade level, kindergarten through 8th grade. And then once it reaches high school, it's broken down into the different subjects. And of course, there's a glossary and a sample of works consulted at the end. So let's take a look first at the standards for mathematical practice. You'll see here that there's a narrative describing each of the 8 standards for mathematical practice. And you'll see the standards here in bold. Standard 1, students will make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. Reason abstractly and quantitatively is Standard 2. Standard 3, construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. You'll see Standard 4 is model with mathematics. Standard 5, use appropriate tools strategically. Standard 6 is attend to precision. Standard 7 is look for and make use of structure. And Standard 8 is look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. Those 8 standards are essential to all students, grades kindergarten through 12. And then there's a narrative down here explaining how to connect these standards for mathematical practice to the standards for mathematical content, which is what we're used to. Now, once you kind of get an idea of what these standards for mathematical practice are, let's come down here to the standards for mathematical content. And we'll start with the 7th grade standards. Now, as a reminder of those 8 mathematical practices, you'll see them listed here in every grade level. They'll be listed 1 through 8, so that way you'll remember what those practices are and remember to integrate those standards in with your instruction. This is an overview of what 7th graders are supposed to know. You can see the different domains here in red, and these are the clusters within those domains. The bulleted points here are the clusters. Now, this is an overview. If you want a narrative description, you can go to the page before it, and there's a narrative explanation of what math in grade 7 should look like. Now, once we've seen the overview, now we can get into the specific standards. To help us kind of connect the standards to this overview, I'm going to pull up another page here of the grade 7 overview. And then we're going to go ahead and look here at the standards. You can see that the first domain is ratios and proportional relationships, as it is listed here. This cluster is analyze proportional relationships and use them to solve real-world and mathematical problems. You can see that cluster written here. And these are the standards. So this is standard 1. We would write this as 7.RP for ratios and proportional relationships, .1, because that is the first standard in that cluster and in this domain. Now you can see here that there are 3 standards that go along with that one. The number system is next, and you can see that there are the standards there listed below. Expressions and equations. You can see the 2 clusters listed here, and there's the 2 clusters there with the standards below them that align with those clusters. Geometry, there's 2 clusters below it. You can see those 2 clusters listed there. And then lastly, statistics and probability has 3 clusters, and they are shown here with the standards below them. And those are a continuation of those statistics and probability standards. And then now we're on to the narrative for 8th grade. So that's an overview of how to read the mathematics standards Remember that there are mathematical practices standards now along with the content standards, and they're broken up by grade level. To download your own copy of the Common Core State Standards, you will type in www.corestandards.org to bring you to this website. Then you can click on English Language Arts Standards down here in the Download the Common Core State Standards section if you want English Language Arts, or you can click on Math if you want to download the Math. There's also lots of information about Common Core on this site if you'd like to peruse it.